So this is a different type of video where we go around town and we interview different people from all walks of life. Here is the video. What advice would you give your younger self?
Always believe in Jesus and God. Always pray every day when you get up and when you go to bed. And treat other people the same as you treat yourself, a good way. Never give up, never give up. If you got a talent, use it, find it. And if you're lucky enough and you get good with your talent, yay! Only you know how to do it. Do what you can do until you can't do no more.
How did you break your arm?
I was helping a tornado victim cut some trees up, and one of the limbs fell out and hit me at the end of the last tree. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. We just talking like we are, and all of a sudden, bam! I said, what the heck? It broke my arm, busted me all up, hurt me real bad, so I've been healing up. In 2021, I got hit by a truck right before Thanksgiving, got sideswiped, and then I caught the COVID at my uncle's funeral, healed that up. Then I got the COVID, took me a month to heal that up. Then I got this tree limb to hit me. Man, I've had a rough year. Yay! Whew! Thank goodness for the shows that's come back. That keeps me going. My fans keep me going.
So if you could just tell us about this bird.
This is Daisy. She's an umbrella cockatoo. She's really great, well-behaved bird. You can see if I can get her to eat a sunflower. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, there you go.
Nice little crunch in there, and that's about how fast they work. Wow. I got her in Miami, Florida. I took her as a little itty-bitty baby. She didn't even have feathers or anything. I've raised her ever since, and she's been my best friend. And I've hand-fed her and raised her and loved on her as much as I can. She's very well-behaved. And she's called the umbrella because she'll stand her head feathers up like this. She's real pretty. She loves all the attention.
How old is the bird?
She's 2 years old, and she's expected to live to be about 60 to 70.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you guys might be best friends forever.
Yeah, I'm going to take her with me.
His name's Skittles. He's a 3-year-old blue-fronted Amazon. He's got a good vocabulary. But he's like a toddler. He just talks when he wants to.
And where did you get this guy?
We got him locally here, and a friend of ours used to raise and sell them. He got out of the business now, but he's a good one. He's our pride and joy. There's hardly ever a dull moment around him. His lifespan is anywhere between 60 to 80 years. We've already willed him to the grandbaby when we're gone.
Wow, he's going to be in the family for a while.
Yeah, hopefully, anyway.
I am here at the Tennessee Bible Museum in Pigeon Forge, and you have some very small Bibles.
Yes. Well, we have a lot of rare small Bibles. This Bible here has a little cover with it. This is printed in 1927. King James Bible. You'd almost need a magnifying glass to see this. It's just so small print. Little pocket Bibles is what they were used for. This Bible, called the Illustrated Bible. On the front there, you can see it. A little magnifying glass in this metal case. This was printed in 1896 by William Bryson's Sons. That print is very small. Another smaller Bible was done in the 1970s. It's called microfiche or microform, and this is a microform Bible, the smallest Bible in the world in the 1970s. With a 100-power microscope, you can read this. It's the whole King James Bible on that little plate. Now, the smallest Bibles in the world is this. It's called the Nano Bible. That's the whole New Testament engraved with a laser on a microchip. It's done by the Israeli Institute of Technology, but it's the whole New Testament, 27 books. Look at that little thing. Now they've done one smaller than this, and we don't have one of these, but what they did, they put this whole New Testament on something the size of a grain of sugar. You can't even hardly believe it's possible till you see it. Get a grain of sugar out and look how small it is. They keep improving their nanotechnology.
How did you get this squirrel?
Found him when he was a baby in the backyard. My friend found him and asked me to help him, and I rescued him, and he just don't want to leave now.
And you were able to just train him?
I mean, I didn't really train him, but because I have a cat, I have to take him with me everywhere. So he just used to be around people, and I took him to the football game, basketball game. He loved to be around people.
Well, that's awesome. Was he on the ball walk?
Yeah, all the time. He didn't miss any tailgate last year. Here you have his.
Oh, awesome. He's got a YouTube channel.
Yeah, he has over than 100,000 followers on TikTok. Yeah.
What advice would you give your younger self?
Well, I've done just about everything I want to do in my life. We started fishing tournaments when I was a senior in college, and moved on up and fished national tournaments for 54 years. We've seen everything happen in bass tournament fishing over the years. We've been doing this television fishing show for 46 years now, and we're on ESPN for 20-some odd of those years. We are back on ESPN again. We were there last year for the first 26 weeks of the year. We'll be on this year, and this next year for the first 26 weeks. But I think if the one mistake I really made is I've been fishing for a living, so what could you do any better than that? Probably nothing. But I wish that when I graduated from college, I'd run for the United States Congress as a congressman. And I'd have probably been beaten, obviously, fresh out of college, probably would have been beaten for the Congress seat. But you can run every 2 years. So you just go out and work for 2 years and you run again for Congress. And then you run again. And after you run for 3 or 4 different times, and maybe then you're 28, 30 years old or so, and everybody kind of recognizes your name because you've run every 2 years, they elect you to the United States Congress. And then you can retire and draw government retirement all your life and fish and hunt all the time. Is that a plan?
There you go.
So, that's a pretty good deal to do. You might want to think about running for Congress. And wherever you live, all you got to do is just file, put your name on the ballot, run for Congress. And you're going to get beat. Don't feel bad about it. Don't take it personal. I could do 2 more years, run again, then run again. And then pretty soon, they're going to be looking at, I don't know that other guy, but I remember Joe. I'm just going to vote for Joe. Yeah. And in fact, I've just given you your campaign slogan, vote for Joe.
2024.
Here we go.
What would be your message to the world? Like maybe advice you would give to the world?
The advice to the world is to try to live best you can, live for God. Everybody just be prepared, try to live right. Hey, you never know when the good Lord's coming back.
I've been doing the Boss Hog for about 13 years. It's an enjoyment because I'm just a huge fan. Like I said, I've been doing this for 13 years, and it's a blessing what I do. It's extremely hot. I mean, it's rough wearing a 3-piece suit, but I do it because I'm a huge fan.
What is the backstory of how you got started with this outfit?
Well, I was building a General Lee, and I had a Roscoe car, and my wife said, listen, you're a huge fan. John Snyder was doing the show in Atlanta, Motor Speedway. I think him and Cooter switched hands and John took it over. Well, my wife said they're having a look-alike contest. You need to do it. And I'm like, well, sure, if you get me the white suit. Thinking she'll never do it. Well, she did. And this 13 years ago is still the same suit. All these years is still the same one. So, but that was the background of how I got started.
The question that I want to ask you is, what is the coolest moment in maybe UT history that you were able to announce?
Boy, that's a tough one to answer, but there are a couple. When you look at these last 2 years, which have been just amazing for Tennessee baseball, you had so many walk-offs last year. You had gone forever without a walk-off home run, I think 2010, and then you had 7 walk-off wins. So the 2 that stand out from last year would be Drew Gilbert's grand slam against Wright State, because if you don't win that game, you go into the loser's bracket, and you have to win 5 games to make it to the Super Regional. So that one was so big. But I think by a nose, I'm going to go with Max Ferguson's home run against Arkansas, because you had the lead Friday, you gave that up, lost the game, then you have the lead again on Saturday, fall behind, and that allowed you to pull even in the series and to walk it off against the #1 team in the country. That was just amazing. This year, so many big moments, but I think I would go with the last out down in Hoover, Alabama, because that's the first time Tennessee had ever won the SEC tournament in Hoover. They had won 3 when it was back the Eastern Division tournament, but to win the SEC tournament in Hoover for the first time ever, that was amazing. But if I had to go with an all-time moment that I was on hand for, Mike Keith was actually calling the games for Tennessee baseball back in '95. But when Tennessee finally cleared that last hurdle and Todd Helton and company beat Oklahoma State to punch their ticket to go to the College World Series for the first time since 1951, that '95 team was so special, because you made the tournament in '93, you made it to the regional final in '94, and then you won it in '95, which was also an SEC championship year. So my very favorite moment would be that in '95. But over the last couple of years, I would say the Max Ferguson home run against Arkansas would have the #1 place in my heart.
Now, you rescue wolves.
They're technically wolf dogs. They're not pure wolves, and their contents vary from low to high content. Spock here is 30%, Ender is 40%, and Stark over there is roughly 86%. They're all rescues or fosters except for Stark. Our birds are rescue as well.
Are they usually bred by other people and you find them?
Yes, absolutely. The biggest issue is people get these animals thinking that they can just have a regular doggy dog, and that is not what these animals are. They are more intense in behaviors than your typical husky even. If you don't have hands-on experience and you take that in, they'll eat your house inside and out, your cars, and anything and everything. They get bored. They have to have a lot of stimulation.
Tell me a little bit about this owl.
She is a Eurasian eagle owl. She is currently about 2 years old. She weighs just over 5 pounds. She's the second largest breed of owl in the world. She's related to the great horned owl, which is our native owl, and that's the 5th largest owl in the world. Easy way to tell the difference between her and the great horned is the eye color. Her eyes are orange and the great horned are actually yellow.
Was this a rescue owl?
Yes, she came from a facility in New York.
And then you guys are able to train the owl to be able to like sit on your hand like that?
She was originally perch trained, and now whenever we take her out on a glove because of that, she's constantly looking for a place to perch, which makes it easier for people to interact with her.